Hi. Hello, everyone. I am coming to you live from, let's see, where am I? Santa Monica. Uh, I have this wonderful friend who if you're a big fan of my channel, you know Dottie. Dottie came and did one or two videos with me back the last year. I was in Late Bloomer Garden 1.0, and she called me yesterday and she was going, "Where in the world are you?" And I thought of that show, when my kids were small, you watched a lot of PBS shows, and one of them was called "Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego?" So I thought of that, and I thought, where in the world is Kay? I don't know. I'm here in my house, and hi, Charlie is in Scotland, I believe. And Diana's here from Colorado. I'm hearing there's a lot of fires and smoke in Colorado. Lisa's probably experiencing that too in Nevada. Jack Davis is here. Oh my goodness. Please, everybody, welcome Jack Davis to the live stream. Jack is my adopted daughter in Phoenix, well, Tempe. And Susie's here. Yeah, usually you make it later, Susie. I'm glad you made it. Lori is here. Remind everybody where you are, Lori A. At one time, I had so many Lauras and Loris and Laurie and Lori and Laura. And I had so many of those as fans at one time. Trudy in Tennessee. I'm going to have to look up Pikeville again. I know that's in East Tennessee. Lori is in Oman. That's right. And hopefully we'll also have Amal tune in from Saudi. That would be awesome. Jack, how are you doing? Do you have anything to share with anybody about your garden in Phoenix? We usually have this guy named Son of a Gun, 18 something 18. He's got I forget his name. No, it's Jeremy, I think. No. Wait, is that your Jeremy? No, I don't think it's your Jeremy. I think it's another Jeremy. And he's in Phoenix, and if I ever get to Phoenix, he wants to meet me. So that might have to happen if I come see you. Tracy Garnes is also here from Pennsylvania, and Amber Johnson still watching that. Hi, Amber. Thank you for joining. The Little Farmer's Farm. Tony is here right on time today. That's fantastic. I actually thought about not doing this because I'm still struggling with this thing that's like maybe a low-grade sinus infection or something. And, with all the fires that happened here, it's surprising I haven't had all of that stuff that you're having, Diana, with your throat and eyes burning and, feels like an elephant sitting on your chest. I would have to say that you got to have a, what is it, a mister, not a humidifier, but it's a mister. Hey, Kevin in Florida, and put the, Vicks or something that's very aromatic. You can use essential oils, whatever you're allowed to put into that thing, but you really should do that for your chest. Otherwise, it's just holding all that in, and you got to get all that out. Hold on one second. Okay, so I just got a text from a realtor. This house I inquired about is under contract. On Zillow, it said it was active. On Realtor.com, it said it was contingent. They're taking backup offers, but they do not want to close until mid-November. The riding mower stays. Okay. Anyway, I suppose I could put a backup offer, but that's the middle of November. I love you too, Jack. Yes, well, Jack, what I was thinking is I mean, I don't know how I'll do this, but I'm already planning on the exit. You know, even though I don't have a place to go, I'm planning on my exit from here. And it seems like I'm going to have to do a pod thing. And tell me if anybody else has done this before. I haven't moved across the United States since 1989. It's been a little while. And at that time, didn't have a lot of furniture. And this is before my sons, you know, so everything fit into one U-Haul type truck. I think it was a Ryder truck. It was a yellow truck. I remember that. You would have loved that, Daryl. I wanted to say hi to Hadi, and I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, Husseini. Hello. Thank you for joining us. Jamela is here from Trinidad and Tobago. And who else? Kelly Smith is here from Kentucky. Where are you located in Kentucky? I'm starting to think about maybe I'll have to go to Kentucky. I'm telling you, it is really serious. Happy Gardner is George in Eastern Oregon. What is the situation up in Eastern Oregon? While you're writing us a response to that, George, I was just going to say that, you know, my whole just, you know, when you live in a house, you get so many more options in terms of moving, especially if you're going from a house to a house. But I'm going from a second story apartment building, and you know what a pain it was to get up here, especially with the piano, which I'm considering donating. Don't want to, but, and so the pod thing makes it possible for the pod to stay out there for 2 days and to get it all loaded. And I can hire a couple of guys to move my stuff from my storage unit over here and get it in there and all of this stuff down. Then they come and get it and go. And that seems to make the most amount of sense. But what was I? There was a point to that I was going to make. Louisville. How are things in Louisville, Kelly? This is actually not what I'm drinking. I'm just using the bottle. I'm reusing the bottle. It's Kavita. I don't know if you've tried this. It's sparkling probiotic drink, watermelon rose. Really lovely. Anyway, Jack, so assuming all that worked to move that way, then I would have to be ready that day, whenever the truck leaves, to drive away from here. And because I wouldn't have a bed or anything, I would drive away from here and go to Phoenix. And I was thinking, since you're the one that gave me the idea to buy all these trees, you know, I should just bring them and give them to you can have like a little section of Epic Yard Farm 2.0 with Late Bloomer Garden 1.0 trees in it. Because, you know, I'm not going to get if I put my plants in that pod thing for a week, they'll be dead. And so I would much rather them be alive and continue to live. And most of them would do a lot better in Phoenix than they're going to do in Tennessee. Like the cardamom and my succulents, and the succulents will probably be okay. I'm keeping my old man cactus just for, you know, but the kaffir lime and the calamandin lime and the Satsuma mandarin. Oh, Kishu mandarin, sorry. So some of those things I was thinking, Jack, what do you think? And I've got a lot of cardamom. Did I just say that? Cardamom. So, I mean, all of this stuff would be fantastic if I had a greenhouse over there, but, you know, how is that going to even happen before it's really cold? I don't know. Who else is here? Let's see. No one. Okay. Jack, did I say hello to you? Ooh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm glad you recovered from that. How are things going, Kevin, with your new property? Are you getting up there and working on it? And Tony, how are things going in England? You must be into fully fall weather by now, I would think. Yeah, so that's what's going on here. I'm still trying to find a place to go. And at this point, I can go into a rental house close to my mother while she's still around, while she's still alive, and just make trips out to Putnam County and hope that something opens up. We found a couple of properties with acreage, but one of them, you know, Daryl has been around quite a bit and he understands all this stuff. And one of them he felt like would be a real flood hazard. And I certainly don't need to be getting myself into that kind of trouble. So I'm back to just finding any house that I can afford. That I'm trying to get something with at least an acre. So this is not the homestead that I dreamed of. With actually did find an off-grid cabin, completely off-grid, except for they had propane. I can only imagine it was a young couple, you know, that lived there. They're selling it, but they weren't selling it for a very little amount of money. They were selling it for a lot of money. It was just a little log cabin with one of those fantastic cook stoves. You know the kind, Daryl. It's almost kind of bluish, and with the little doors that open, and you cook on top, obviously, and you use it in the kitchen. Heats the whole cabin. But the thing is, you know, like, for example, in Doug's cabin, Doug and Stacy's cabin, there's a lot of light that comes in. Even though it's a cabin, they have windows. Let's see, they have window on each side, window on the front. So there's light in there to make videos. So not only am I looking for, you know, a place to live, some kind of a homestead, but it also needs to be light in there so that I can make videos. And you're just cooking your goose if you buy a kitchen that's dark. And I can't tell you how many of those I've seen. There are lots of houses, don't get me wrong, there are lots of houses available, but at a higher price point than I can afford. So that's what's going on with that. Now, I don't know if people are continuing to leave comments and I can't see them, but I can't see anything past Kelly's comment of Louisville. Has anybody else left a comment? I see we have 45 people and only 21 of these. So if you're on mobile, you can step off mobile for a moment and hit the like button and get back on. Or if you're not on mobile, just hit that like button. I know you can't do it if you're on the TV. You know, there's no way to do that, but you can do it later after we get off. You can do it. Anyway, I've got vitamin C, a little bit of probiotic drink, and some colloidal silver, and what else have I got in there? Water. Okay, I don't have any questions from anyone. So can somebody leave me a comment just to see if this has happened before. I've got supposedly the fastest internet that Spectrum has to, something's happening now. Isn't that funny? All of a sudden, all of these things happened. Okay, Jack had to go. Intermittent smoke in Oregon, starting to get cool, fall conditions. That's a blessing. Oh, that's great, Jack. I can't wait. Oh, fantastic. So we'll have to, that's what I was thinking, because I don't know who can take them here. By the way, a new development here, it's going to be very hard. Not that I was planning to, because since I have 2 videos in the can that I still haven't edited because I haven't felt well enough, I was just going to do those 2, upload one this week, one next week, and then just focus on packing and getting out of here. Wasn't thinking really about shooting any more videos here because the focus is to go. But now that's sort of, the deal has sort of been sealed, because guess what? There was a fire, an apartment fire across from my kitchen window. And it was bad. And so those are my friends. So they're they weren't there, thankfully, and they're dislocated for 4 months. So they have now started working on that place and ripping out all the cabinets and sawing and, using that Sawzall. Don't we love how that Sawzall sounds when we're trying to make a video? So that's going to be tough. Anyway, let's see, what did I miss? Ultimate Gardening. Emmanuel here is from Florida. Oh, yes, Kelly, that must be very, very upsetting, especially in your suburban neighborhood. And Louisville is such a beautiful city. I was so impressed. I was there in November of last year for the first time, unless I happened to have gone there as a child and don't remember. But my son and I ate at 2 or 3 different farm-to-table restaurants. And at the time, I was partaking a wee bit, and I had some whiskey from the local distillery, which was quite good. And so I'm really, it's just wrong. I mean, I'm just very upset that these things are happening in our country. Okay, Tony would like to see, let's see, what does Tony say? I would like to see you invest in the land and just live in a nice trailer or a little house, Kay, downsize to maximize, honey. That's what I want to do. And the thing is, if I could find, knock, knock, to a piece of property next to Doug and Stacy, I would have him build me a house, because he's in the milling business now. And he told me he would build me a house for a price point that I could afford. So the problem is, I've been focusing on Tennessee because of my family. I know if I go to Missouri, I'll never see my family unless I travel. So they will not come to Missouri to see me. So, part of it is just like, while it all sounds really well and good, Tony, by yourself at my age, not being able to do carpentry or electric or plumbing, and oh boy, all of that. And Daryl was trying to get me to buy a camper, and I looked inside some, I'm an actor, so we spend a lot of time when we're working. We spend a lot of time in those trailer things, and waiting for our time to go on set. And I would hate to think that I had to live the winter in that, because I have a feeling it's going to be very cold. They don't have a lot of insulation in those walls. Anyway, so I had this visions of having to have this heater blower thing going like 24/7 all winter, and being cooped up. And I think that I don't think I would like that. So that's what that's the problem, So I thought, okay, once again, if I rent a place while my mother's still alive, so I can see her frequently, and then I can go back and forth, I could do that. I could buy a piece of property, but without Doug bringing the wood down from Missouri, which I can't even imagine how that would work, because they would have to spend the night somewhere, and I wouldn't have any facilities, and it's winter. So, And there's Vanita. That's why I'm just looking at getting a house that I can get into where I can manage it and be comfortable, and something that's got good quality materials so that if I want to sell it, when I want to sell it, I can do that. But the crush to move to Tennessee is beyond belief. I never imagined. First of all, I never imagined I'd go back to Tennessee to live, and then second, I never imagined that Tennessee would be the hottest place in the country to move to, but evidently it is. And something is, if a house is decent, and I'm not even talking about great, I'm talking about decent. It's got an offer the first or second day, and it's under contract. And I would just like to say, for the record, I have never seen so much, and I won't use the adjective that I've been using. I've never seen so much horrible flooring in my life. These contractors that are flipping these houses, they're all using the same flooring, that busy stuff that looks like, supposed to look like wood. So this piece is darker and it gets to this end and it's lighter. And so the overall effect is just, I mean, you're just dizzy looking at this, and it's all over the house, down the hallway, everywhere. And I can't understand it, because how can they go so wrong? I went over to a house. I was invited over the other night to my friend's house. The guy that helped me. If it hadn't been for him, I would have never gotten out of that house and gotten into here in time, because the shutdown happened like the next day, and the closed on the house the next day. So anyway, they invited me over, and so they're in a house with that kind of flooring, but it's very subtle. It's like sand color, light sand color. So you just see the furnishings and the furniture. You don't see this. I mean, it's like a horror movie. These houses, because they're all empty because they've been flipped, and they've all got this flooring. Okay, I've complained enough, but it's mind-boggling. It's absolutely mind-boggling that they're using it in every single redone house. So to find a house that has the original hardwood floor is extremely rare. Extremely rare. So, hey, Ed, in New York, I think. Yeah, Diana, he didn't call it a pod. He called it what's it called? You move. No, not you move. I don't know. It's you do it. In other words, you pack it and it's called you load. But if you can't load it yourself, then they will get you help. So, yeah, well, I don't know where I'm going. So, but I'll keep that in mind, Diana. I mean, remember when I sent some stuff to my son last year after the estate sale, and everything was on a semi, and they supposedly checked it out and said that they could deliver it. And then they got into this development, and you couldn't take a semi tractor trailer into that development. So if my son had not had a pickup truck, he had a Colorado pickup truck, and he was even on a business trip. His fiance drove it back and forth. It was like 10 trips in, oh my goodness. And you wind up spending thousands of dollars. I mean, this move of just, I mean, I don't have that much stuff. 4,000. I could buy a pickup truck for that. Oh, yes, a tractor will really be fantastic, Kevin. That's right. Well, when I interviewed, let's see, George in Oregon, when I interviewed Doug and Stacy, if you saw that video, one of the questions I asked is, what is the division of labor? And I'm sure, with them publishing every day, they've covered this ad infinitum, but he does the manly jobs, and she does the gardening and the cooking and the fermenting and feeding the chickens and all of that stuff. It takes both of them. It's a lot. It's an all day lot of work every day. Let's see. Okay, so I don't know what's happening now, but Tony's comment, 22 thumbs up, is the last comment. I don't know if that's correct. I don't know what's going on today. Does anybody else have another comment or question for me? I wish that I had more to share. Some good news. I wish I had. Has everyone seen my muscle video and shared it with at least one person? Because if you know of any teacher, please share that video with teachers so that they can share that information with kids. Because so many times, and I've seen this so many times myself, you go to a stream bed and kids go into play and they disrupt all of the rocks. And they throw them here and they throw them there. They pick up big rocks and they throw them down the stream and stuff. And you think, oh, they're just being kids. This is what you do when you're a kid. No, I'm sorry. There might have been a hellbender salamander living under that one big flat rock his whole life. For 20 years, he could have been under that one rock. So we want to educate children when they go into the streams to go in very, very gently. Don't disrupt the rocks. And it could be fish eggs. It could be a lot of different things that you're disrupting. And so I would love for that video to get shared and spread the word, because they're doing really important work there. And I'm not just saying that because it's my brother. Okay, so evidently, let's see, Denise is saying, so she says the chat is frozen. And like I said, I have the best, fastest internet here that you can have, but my chat window is frozen. And so I don't know if that means I'm frozen. And I just want to apologize for that. But I think I'll go ahead and sign off, because yes, I'm hearing from Jack and Denise by text that the chat is frozen. I'm very sorry about that. I don't know what to do about it. You'd think YouTube could have all of that sort of thing straightened out so these things wouldn't happen. But thank you so much for tuning in today. I really appreciate your support. And if you haven't seen my recent videos, I hope you'll watch them and share them with your friends, and keep the activity going on my channel while I seek to feel better and gather up my strength to move. So if anybody knows of a great house in Middle Tennessee that I somehow don't know about or hasn't quite gone onto the market, please get in touch with me. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for joining. There's 52 of you some of you just joined, but unfortunately, 53, but unfortunately, the chat window is frozen. I don't know how to do anything about that. And the chat came back, she said. I don't think so. At any rate, thank you so much for just checking in a little bit with me today. And hopefully tomorrow I'm going to just wake up and feel fantastic. And I'm going to be standing right over there editing that next video, because guess what I did when I was in Illinois? I harvested peppers out of the garden that I worked in this summer and dehydrated them. And I've never done that in a video. So you have something to look forward to. Oh, I think I'm frozen. Okay, thanks so much, guys. Mwah. I really appreciate you tuning in, and I'll see you Sunday at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.